In this video, I'm going to discuss the reasons why I decided to open a Pokemon card store despite every other PokeTuber, whether they have experience owning and operating a store or not, saying with 100% certainty that it is a terrible idea. For the last 5 years, I've heard the same thing from everyone. If you are already killing it online, then why take on the overhead of a store? And for the last 5 years, I wholeheartedly agreed with them. But I knew in the back of my mind that a brick and mortar store was always something I was going to be striving for. I just needed to figure out the right way to do it, and by right way, I mean the least risky way. If you guys enjoyed the video today, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button and stay to the end of the video where I give a tour of the store and some of the improvements and changes we've recently made. Back in 2022, I started grading and flipping Pokemon cards, but I realized that I had boxes of cool, near mint Pokemon cards that were just sitting there that weren't up to snuff for grading. In an attempt to sell these cards without the hassle of me having to actually list them all up on eBay, I partnered with a local comic book store to set up a booth with my Pokemon cards and sell them via consignment. The agreement we came to was $100 per month rent plus 10% of all my sales. For 2.5 years, I watched my sales numbers from my little tabletop grow to upwards of $2,000 a month. Mind you, this was during a significant downward trend in demand after the 2020 boom had ended. Back when we were all buying $80 Obsidian Flames booster boxes off of TikTok shop with all them coupons. It was a nice arrangement to gain me an extra stream of passive income, but it also showed me that there was a genuine need in the area for a larger, more legit Pokemon card business. This project encountered its first bump in the road when the comic book shop I was selling out of announced that it was going out of business. It was a bump because an entire wing of my business was also shutting down, but it was also kind of an opportunity to reach out to the owner of the building and see if I could transition the comic book store into my dream Pokemon card store. That idea was quickly extinguished as the owner of the building decided to try and sell the entire building instead of continuing to lease out the units. At that point, I thought it was all over. I knew that this was the opportunity that I needed to get into a great location with a low, less risky overhead situation. If it wasn't that location, I wasn't interested in opening a store. So I moved on to find another passive avenue to sell my raw cards. Luckily, I knew an awesome live streamer trying to make a name for himself on eBay Live that happened to live just 15 minutes away from me. PokeChef and I partnered up. He would sell my raw cards during his live streams and we would split the sales 50-50. The singles were performing really well on his live stream, so I didn't mind taking less of a percentage. If it meant I could help Chef achieve his goal of having a successful live stream while still attaining my goal of having a passive income stream to sell my raw singles. At this point, the idea of opening a Pokemon card store was an afterthought. Occasionally, I'd walk by the empty storefront on my way to get a coffee at the local coffee shop and think, what if? But for the most part, that ship had sailed in my mind till April 14th, 2025. I was interviewing PokeChef for my 30 for 30 series when the idea of a flex store/live stream space came up. After wrapping up the interview, I spent some time that night looking at some retail and office locations here in my local area. That's when I saw an interesting little basement space on the same street as my dream location, just 1 block away. It had what I thought would be the perfect stream/retail setup. We'd set up a small storefront area in the front room and we'd set up a streaming setup in the back room. Chef could stream out of the back, and I could sell in sourced cards out of the front. Literally the next day, PokeChef and I went to look at the location. I was incredibly excited because I knew it was perfect. It was the perfect location for something like this. Unfortunately, I didn't know that Chef was in talks and already planning what was to become Cardinal Live. So while I think he was super excited about the potential, he was going to be out as a partner. It was officially time for me to either nut up or shut up. I either take on this plan solo and make it happen, or I call it quits again. The storefront is small, but it's cheap, and it's in a location that I was already familiar with, and I knew that it was in need of a dedicated card store. 1 week later, I signed the lease. 5 weeks after that, I had my grand opening, and now 11 weeks after that, I've passed $45,000 in sales, and I'm getting new customers checking out Java's Card and Collectibles every single day. Without the 2 years of experience selling in this area, or if the store had been located in a different place, I wouldn't have opened this card store. If it had been any more expensive than it is, I probably wouldn't have opened this card store. If the lease had been longer than a year, I definitely wouldn't have opened this card store. I needed something that felt like a stepping stone to what most would consider a traditional card shop, not a cannonball into the deep end of a bottomless pool that every PokeTuber has warned us all not to go. Even though I can make this place sound like the perfect stepping stone to something greater, it does come with its own drawbacks and limitations. Luckily, I've been able to get into 2 distributors so far, but multiple have declined my applications because my space doesn't fit their description of a traditional game store. A retail location with a public bathroom and enough space to hold a vents. I also, despite coming up with some creative solutions to maximize my limited space, am already hitting its limits. The display cases are already pretty much full, and there's limited secured space for sealed products. So while I really wanted to start with something small, I don't have a whole lot of space to grow into over the course of my lease. So there was definitely some trade-offs in keeping overhead low and doing this the least risky way possible. That being said, I'm incredibly happy with how Java's Cards and Collectibles has turned out so far and the positive reception it's gotten from the local community. If you're ever in the Wake Forest or Raleigh, North Carolina area, make sure to come by and say hi. All right, guys, let's do an updated tour of the store. Here we go. Okay, so I honestly don't remember what I showed you last time, so we're just gonna show you everything again. We've got a brand new sign. This is my old sign here. I still put this one outside this front door in the back, but I have this sign now that goes in the front, and you can see I'm right between the burger shop and Domino's, and the sign is usually put right where that star is so people know where to go to find me. People still have trouble finding me, but I'm trying my best, all right? I'm trying my best. Our cases are set up a little bit differently. I no longer put the packs in between the jewel cases there. Instead, I moved them all over to the left, and we now have a bunch more sets that we had to worry about putting in the case, so I had to make more room for that. Obviously, lots of great singles. We just keep getting singles and singles and singles, so we have a ton. I would say the majority of singles now that I have come in from either purchases or trades. I think I probably have very little from that original collection that I actually purchased back in the day. I got these risers here. This was kind of a pain in the butt. There's a guy on Instagram called Box Boy. I reached out initially. I was left on red for like a month and a half or two, and then I reached out again, and he said it would be 2 weeks, and it ended up being like 5 or 6 weeks, and then he sent the wrong risers, and it was kind of a pain in the ass. But at the end of the day, I think they look pretty good. These are actually the slab risers, not the single risers. I was supposed to get one of each, but I just got all slab risers. They fit less singles, but you see more of the singles. So I think in general, I think they look pretty good. But yeah, they're basically just 3D printed. We are carrying Japanese cards now. I have the Japanese packs for Mega Brave, Mega Symphonia. Those have been moving very well. I've been selling them by the box and by the pack, and they've been doing great. So people are definitely excited in the area for the new Japanese packs, and they don't mind opening the new Japanese sets. Obviously, we have Black Bolt, White Flare, all that stuff as well. We've got more risers here. These are the slab risers for the slabs instead of for the singles. The risers do look pretty nice. So if you are looking for risers, I would say the actual product is very nice. The customer service wasn't that great. So my brother was here because my grandma was having surgery recently, and my brother was here, and he helped me put up these slat walls. We basically just hung the slat wall from the brick, but now I have some shelving for sealed product. And a lot of the sealed product, well, some of the sealed product I was able to get from distro, but a lot of the sealed product is from people that come in to sell me some sealed product stuff. This has been really good so far. Lots of people really liking and enjoying having some sealed product instead of just the single packs. I think there's a little bit more trust there when people are buying boxes instead of just single packs, but I know my single packs come from a great source, so I'm not too worried about it. And we've had lots of people actually hit some pretty awesome cards out of the single packs. One thing that a buddy of mine, PokeChef, had this great idea that I'm definitely gonna start doing. So you see this space around the banner here on the left and right, and then I also have this like vent thing up here that's completely empty. When somebody comes in and opens a pack and gets a decent hit, that I should get like a Polaroid camera, and I could take a Polaroid of the person holding up their hit and have it be like a wall of fame, like a customer wall of fame, or like a hit wall of fame. That would be really cool, right? I think it would be a great way to incorporate the community, the idea of like buying packs here, ripping them here, and then showing off all of the hits that happen in store. I just gotta get a Polaroid camera, which are really expensive, by the way. I did not expect Polaroid cameras to be like $100+, but look at that. Okay, this is like the coolest new decoration piece. This and another banner that I got recently. Rusty TCA Gaming, I went over to his house during Charlotte CollectCon, and he gave us all pack wrappers, uncut pack wrappers. He has a roll of these, and he cut us all pack arts. That's awesome. Like a full art set. I put it in a little frame, and I've had so many people come over and be like, oh my God, that is so cool. It's uncut sheets of the pack wrapper. Like, they love it, and I love it. It's one of the best Pokemon gifts I've ever received, and such a cool little decorative thing to put up in the store. Absolutely sick. Now, I don't think you guys have seen this yet either. So I installed slat wall to the back of these things. So basically, I drilled some holes in the slat wall, and then I attached it so that this top section now has slat wall, but it allows me to put, instead of the boxes I used to have that were just like bulk slab boxes. This is a way better way for me to display all of kind of the bulkier slabs up here. So most of the slabs up here are gonna be $40 or less. I feel like a lot of people come in and they're like, wow, that looks really good. I also installed this light around here so that it really spotlights the slabs, but people walk in and see the two slab like features on the back here and they're like, boom, like, wow, that looks good. And I got these, I forget what they're called, J-Rack, I think? J-Rack slat wall something or other. They work really well for showing off slabs on slat walls while not taking up too much space. Because obviously I didn't want like full shelves to come out because I don't want people hitting it when they're, you know, looking through the binder. But this is like super low profile and shows off the slabs really well. We got this big Charizard promotional banner. So I don't get this stuff because I don't hold events, I think, but a buddy of mine, Benji, community cards in Massachusetts, they got some promotional materials and he brought one of these big Charizard banners for me to have in Charlotte. I got some of like the coolest friends in the Pokemon hobby, I swear. We put this up recently and it looks so good. Charizard's obviously my favorite Pokemon and it's just a killer banner. I love it, it's so cool. I also put these in a couple places in the store. I don't know, they cost like 20 bucks on Vistaprint or something. It's something that people can scan to follow my Instagram account and my YouTube and stuff. So I have one here and I have one at the checkout counter. Those have been really good with like capturing Instagram followers. So I added another 5-row of bulk. I am getting the new set bulk from a buddy of mine, Ponga. He rips packs live on Fanatics and he has been sending me some bulk for the newest set. So I had Destin Rivals for a while and then Black Bolt White Flare came out and he just sent me a bunch of bulk for Black Bolt White Flare. I moved the Destin Rivals into the normal bulk and I'm highlighting Black Bolt White Flare. So every time a new set comes out, I am purposefully highlighting that new set because a lot of people will come in. Like there's a guy that came in, I think Air Balloon is like a $1 card right now or something like that. And he picked up almost probably all the air balloons I had out of the commons and uncommons because I didn't know it was $1, but he got them for 20 cents a piece. So GG on that one. You know, when you have no idea about any of the actual gameplay, you give away air balloons for 20 cents a piece. But hopefully he's using them in his deck. I think that's pretty much everything. All of the big new additions. It's not a lot, it's a small space. But again, I'm trying to be creative. I'm trying to utilize all the space that I can to try and highlight and get more cards out. I have had some amazing purchases and trades and all that stuff. It's been really great. I'm just really excited to show you guys more of what I've been taking in because it has been really cool, some of the stuff that people come to trade and sell to me. So look forward to another video like that in the near future. Hope you guys have a good day. Bye.